Let's roll right into our post-race winning team for today's 44th annual Quicken Loans 400, and our race winner is Dale Earnhardt Jr. He drove the number 88 Diet Mountain Dew, the Dark Knight Rises National Guard Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports. He's joined up on the podium by his crew chief, Steve Letarte. And Dale, this is your 19th win in NASCAR Sprint Cup. Second time you won here at Michigan on Father's Day. I know that coming out of yesterday's practice, might not have had best feeling in the world, but I tell you what, you came out here today and you showed that you're a contender for this championship in 2012. Talk about the win here today at Michigan.
Yeah, we had some tough things to overcome this weekend with the tire issues, and they made some changes, and I wasn't very confident after the practice last night. Steve felt pretty good. Talked about how we would the things we would do to the car, and he felt pretty confident. And I was a little nervous when the race started. The car wasn't quite where I needed it to be. We weren't in too big of trouble, but we needed some adjustments. And in that moment, it's really kind of tough to give Steve, or I guess I worry whether he knows exactly where I'm at or what I need with the car, how much I need. But I guess he knows me well enough because he made the right calls and that thing took off to flying. And then he made some pit strategy choices that put us toward the front to where the car could respond. And if we had a fast car, it was going to happen, and it did. So he did a good job. And from there on, we just did everything we had to keep ourselves in the top, 5 or the top 3 to stay in the clean air, because it was definitely difficult in traffic, especially in from 10th on back. It was really a real challenge to run around there. So he did a great job putting the car toward the front, and the car responded when we got there. And I just learned a lot, running around behind people, and learned about what my car was capable of doing, and pushed my car a little bit harder each time we ran around the corner, and found where the car was comfortable and fast, and just tried to maintain a good pace. I was worried about tire issues and stuff like that, even late in the race, because our car kind of started turning better, and I was thinking, well, I'm going to work the right rear a little harder. So I just sort of saved a little bit in my pocket the last 50 laps and run only as hard as I thought I needed to. And at the end of the race, man, the thing was a rocket. I couldn't slow it down. It was so fast.
Steve Letarte, congratulations on this win here today, and maybe just talk about, we started testing here on Thursday, and we tested Friday, then we had a tire change Saturday, and just talk about working through all that, navigating through all that, and now here you are in victory lane.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an eventful weekend. I think it really started back in Pocono. We had some concepts and some ideas in the race car we took there, and it showed speed, so we were excited to get here. And we were pretty comfortable with our car on Thursday, and on Friday we were, disappointed to see the tire trouble because we felt we had pretty good speed, but we understood the situation, understood what needed to be done, and when Goodyear brought the different tire in that short happy hour session, we did the best we could, throwing some things at the car to get feedback on it. And I can't say enough about our guys. It was a long day yesterday, and they left with as much energy as they came in with, and they were ready to go to work this morning. And the engineers put just a tremendous car together with some great ideas, and Hendrick engines stuck together. We went over our laps for sure in practice, and to be able to run 200 strong laps today, it was really a total team effort, and it was good. We had to make adjustments on our car today. We made them early, and then we worked really hard on our pit strategy, and just kind of all worked out. It was great.
Thank you very much. Let's start upstairs in the press box. We'll start upstairs. We got 3 questions up there, and then we'll come back down here. Go ahead, press box. Questions for Dale or Steve?
Monty Dutton, Gaston Gazette. Dale, of the things that changed, this race was run at the laps were at probably a slower pace than they would have because of the change in the tires. But the hardness of the tires probably made things a little treacherous in the turns. What do you think? Did those 2 factors balance each out? Did slowing the cars down help, or did the changes help or hurt? I know they helped you, but I mean just for the difficulty of driving a race car.
The car was a real handful. especially being around other cars. You don't, when they change the tire, it takes away a ton of mechanical grip. So the car really relies a lot on the aero grip from that point on. And when you get around other people, you lose that. So when you have no mechanical and no aero, the car's a real tricky thing to get through the corner. You got to be careful because wherever cars are around you, that changes how the air is displaced from your car. So you just got to know where, if a guy's on your right rear quarter panel, how that's going to change the aerodynamics on your car versus a guy being on the front of your car or out on the on the left side or whatever. So you just kind of got to know that going in the corner and watch out. But I was really disappointed that not really that they changed the tire. I was just disappointed we were going through the process. I know everybody was. I know NASCAR was, and Goodyear was probably disappointed. But we had worked, for a couple of days pretty hard at getting the thing to work with what we brought here. And then we were making a change, and we were sort of, we were kind of thrown into a deal where we had, an hour to figure it out. But we only had 25 laps on our motor. Our motor tuner wouldn't let us run more than that, even if we weren't. I told Steve, I said, what if we're going to go into this last practice with 25 laps, and what if my car's junk? And he says, we can't practice no more. I mean, that's how strict of a deal it is. So I was desperate in that last practice to get something to work, and when it ended, I still wasn't really sure if we were where we needed to be. And I woke up this morning just antsy, not knowing how this was going to play out. We'd done so well up to this point, cognizant of the top tens and the laps we've ran and how steady we've been all year. And I just want to keep that going each weekend. And I felt like that we might be getting ready to have a difficult race. It turned out to be the exact opposite for whatever reason. But I was just disappointed we were kind of going through that process. And I know that at the time I didn't know if it was the right decision or not. We got to put on a race today without any problems, without any tire problems. So I assume that, everything's okay. And everybody, we'll probably have to tire test here again and figure out something a little bit better than this. But because this definitely ain't the answer. But, we got through the weekend okay. And we didn't have any trouble with guys blistering tires because we're going pretty fast out there with this new surface. To have tires blistering and coming apart, I would have hated to see anything, happen to anybody or even myself with a tire failure or something like that at that speed.
Stay upstairs, press box. Go ahead.
Nate Ryan, USA Today. Dale, kind of a two-part thing. Matt Kenseth said after the race that he considers your team probably like the premier threat right now to win the championship, and I know that you got a lot of congratulations on the way to victory lane from other drivers. I know Jeff Gordon and I think Jimmy Johnson both came in and congratulated. What's it mean, I guess, to have one, people happy for you, that your peers are happy that you entered that drought, but two, they're also talking about you as a title contender?
Well, I guess it means I'm an all right dude. When people are happy for you, want to see you do good, that's the way I feel about people. When I want to see good people do good things, and I want to see people that I think are, good people have success and be happy. So, I feel like we're, getting stronger. One of the things that we did last year throughout the season was kind of maintain, and I was a little, even though I was happy as hell to be with Steve and be able to run well and be competitive, I was a little disheartened that I didn't progress through the year. Really, I didn't find more speed as the year went on. We just kind of stayed the same throughout the season, and maybe Steve looks at it a little different than I do. We don't talk about that much, but this year we've gotten faster throughout the year. We started off pretty quick, and we've gotten quicker and quicker, especially these last couple of weeks. So that's been a thrill for me. I don't know really where we stand in the competition level or what have you, where we are as far as being a threat to win the title. I think that's a great compliment from Matt. But we just want to, we just kind of kept our nose to the grindstone to try to win a race. We'll just try to keep doing that to try to win the next race and see what happens.
Stay upstairs, press box. Go ahead, please.
Rachel Lindsay from the Toledo Blade. Looking back 4 years ago, what was that like to win 4 years ago to the day? What do you remember from that day, and is it the same feeling as you have today?
Unfortunately, it was. I was so nervous in the last few laps of that race 4 years ago, and today, this was the worst. That was the worst feeling, riding around there with 15 laps to go, wondering what was going to happen, or how you were going to lose. So I was just thinking, man, those laps couldn't go by fast enough. I was like, I got a big lead. I'm going to take it easy. No, I'm going to run hard, get it over with. So I was in there just going crazy, thinking, and I'm looking all around the racetrack for, hoping there's no debris around the next corner. I just knew I was going to come around the next corner and see a piece of metal laying in the racetrack. I just was waiting on something to happen, So that was terrifying, to be honest with you. And I kept thinking about Steve and the team and how hard we've worked and how we deserve to win and how we should win. And was hoping it would happen for everybody. That was, but that race 4 years ago was a fuel mileage race, and today we just whooped them really good. So that felt good.
Let's come downstairs. Questions for Dale. Let's go with Lee, Bob, and Joe.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. Not to take anything away from your win, but what does the guy next to you mean to you? I mean, it just seems since the two of you, and I know, you guys are both really humble, but the turnaround that since the two of you have gotten together, it's just really clicked.
It has. We've been doing some great things. He's hard to compliment because he doesn't take it very well. But him and that team, they can have all the credit. My engineers and Steve sit in that lounge every weekend and make the car go. They make it turn. They make it whatever I want it to do. If I ask them, this is my problem and this is where we're hurting, they get together and they fix it. And during the race, just like today, every week we start the race and all right, we're going to have a few issues. These are the issues, and Steve fixes them. He gets with his engineers and they make it better. And that's amazing to me. Him and that whole team, deserve, especially today, that car, and it wouldn't matter who was driving it today. That car was going to be the fastest thing out there and going to win the race. So that car, deserves all the credit. And so the guys that put it together deserve all the credit. And, Steve's just really sharp. He called a great race. I trust in him to do that every week, and I know he will. I just trust that he's gonna, he's looking out not for the best interest of just me. He looks out for the entire team and puts great people around himself to be able to do the job right. We have a good group. This today really solidifies and justifies our efforts, and we can move forward to try to do more good things. So I think this is really great for everybody. But Steve, and when you go to the shop and watch him kind of work, and you can see where this team, you can see how this team is as good as it is by just being in the shop and watching him sort of dictate and move pieces around on a chessboard. I mean, he's really sharp.
Let's go with Bob, Joe Menzer, and then David. Go ahead, Bob.
Bob Hocker, Sporting News. Steve, can you talk about what point you knew that you had a driver who still kind of had the passion and still could win races since you started working with him?
I probably unloaded a new Smyrna probably a year ago February. I mean, never in a moment or a day did I ever question his desire to drive. We sat down kind of when the whole deal came together. We spent some time that off season. We went to Vegas for the banquet and a couple other things, and I kind of laid out what I thought would be a good plan to approach the season, no different than I would for any of the other years. And he was completely on board, gave his opinion on things, which are great. Anytime you can get an opinion of a veteran driver, a guy that's won that many races, it only makes your team stronger. And we went to New Smyrna to do nothing but make laps. And from that day forward, we've been, all steam ahead. One thing I can say, we've had bad runs, good runs, disagreements, agreements, but I can say from the day we started working together, I hope he's never questioned my desire to improve the team and to run well. And I'd never have questioned his desire and where he stands as far as the team and what our goals are when we come in here. And that's hard. It's a long season. I mean, there are weeks you are cranky to come to the racetrack. There are weeks they change the tire on you after you've worked 2 days, and what else possibly could happen. And I can say, it's not always been peaches and cream. I mean, we have had disagreements. That's great. That's healthy disagreements. But I can say, really, the devotion and the desire was never questioned by me at all.
Let's go with Joe and then David Newton. Go ahead, Joe.
Joe Menzer, NASCAR.com. Dale, I'm guessing you think this is pretty cool now, as opposed to the comment you made last night. But did you guys both talk a little bit about, what this meant in terms of the way you won, kind of validating, your season, and what it also means in terms of, the chase and everything else? Because obviously, if you had gone on into the chase with no wins, you would have been behind some people.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. We're in the All-Star race next year, so we don't have to grind it out in the shootout. We're back on the Winter Circle program, which is a big deal to the company as far as income and revenue. So over the last 2.5, 3, 4 years, we've missed out on a lot of that revenue. So that's great. And we're, I've never had bonus points for the chase, so that's neat. So, I feel like, we want to win some more races before the chase starts, obviously, and we'll think about where we are points wise when that all happens after Richmond. But we kind of have to. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. We got to go to we got to go to Sonoma next week and figure out how to get around there and get my first top 10 at that place. We got a lot to accomplish this year, but it's a good deal for the team. It feels good to win in that shop. I got moved into that shop a year and a half ago, and that shop's got all them trophies and got all of them wins with Jimmy and Jeff, and they're used to success, so it feels good to be able to bring those guys what they deserve. All the employees will get bonuses or what have you from this win, so the whole company sort of gets to enjoy the effect of this. So it's a great deal. We got this victory bell that I get to take around for the first time since we built it, and ring the hell out of it all over the complex. I'm gonna ring that damn thing as hard as I can. So it's a big deal for me. But I like seeing the smiles on everybody else's face. I'm gonna enjoy this, and I am enjoying this. But it's so awesome to see how many other people it affects, and how many people are affected by it. That kind of just what happened today.
Question right here.
My comment as well, or no?
Yeah,
I guess
go ahead.
the only
Go ahead,
thing
Steve.
is the only difference. I guess the only thing I would say is what today does is solidifies decisions like last week, makes them a lot easier one way or the other. It was disappointing last week because we hadn't won in 3 years. If we'd have won 3 weeks ago, nobody would have cared that we pitted. You had a great car, you pitted. Well, you ran 8th. You'll get him next week. And, we had confidence in one another to make that decision because we knew the goal. We had discussed the goal. We know what the goal was. The goal was to get as many points as we could to get out of there. And that's every week, is to run the best we possibly can. And now that this proved to us, you see race teams, and I've been a part of them, that you don't race out of desperation, but you start swinging for the fences. When you're down 7 or 8 runs in the 9th inning, and bunts aren't going to work. You got to start by putting guys on base. And this proves to us that our strategy is correct. If you bring fast enough race cars, you don't have to get outside your comfort zone too far. I don't think you have to get super crazy with the pit strategy. You just need to put in, we say it all the time, you just need to put in hard work. Hard work every Sunday, and this kind of helps us understand that we aren't crazy, that our goals are, and what we've been trying to do has been working.
Go ahead, David, and then Stan, and we'll go back upstairs. Go ahead, David.
Yeah, David Newton, ESPN.com. Dale, 2 questions. First, Rick, I guess, talked to you on the phone there. What did he say? And secondly, Tony Stewart said it's not a national holiday. Do you feel like it is?
I do. For me, it is. I'm sure it's running second for me wouldn't be a holiday either, but it sure feels it feels good to win, and I'll enjoy it, and in a day or two I'll be thirsty for the next one. But Rick, I told him he should have a good excuse for not being there. He better be on a boat somewhere in the Keys or something. But he said he was at home, and they were thrilled to death. And so I know that no matter where he was, he enjoyed this. And I told him that I had to thank him for sticking with me and getting me back to Victory Lane. That he went through hell and high water to make it happen, and he should enjoy the win.
Stan
Creekmore, RPMtonight.com. Junior, it is a very special day today, obviously, and your win and everything, but did at any point in time you take a minute to think about your dad as the laps wound down or as the checkered flag flew?
No, sir. As much as that would be a good story, I hadn't even really thought much about it being Father's Day, and I had missed out on a lot of opportunities to wish everybody a happy Father's Day. It just had slipped my mind pretty much. But it is Father's Day, so I'm happy for that fact due to the circumstances, and it makes it mean a little bit more to have won on Father's Day, and get the opportunity to just come here and sit down and wish everybody a happy Father's Day after it slipping my mind all day long and missing it through all the other interviews I've had today.
Go upstairs, press box, questions?
Nate Ryan again. Dale, you were saying that in a day or two you'll be thirsty for more. How late will you let the party go at Whiskey River tonight? And does the guy next to you kind of like maybe – I know you talked a lot about how Steve's changed your mindset. Is it kind of like you do this, you celebrate for one day, you party late in the night, and then on Monday it's over?
Well,
not one day, I can assure you.
I probably won't lead by example, but I'll probably just kind of see what everybody else does and just kind of jump in the pool if the water's warm. But I just I don't want to get carried away. We got a great thing going. We want to be sharp, and I want to be sharp when I go to the next race. We got a tough one at Sonoma, and we got like a chip on our shoulder to go there and run well because of the struggles I've had at that place. We will enjoy this, and I cannot wait to go home and see my family and my friends. I know that they're dying for me to get there. So we'll have some fun tonight, and Steve will probably get home a little too late for this evening, but it's whatever. We'll just kind of, we got a couple days off. I got a promotion to shoot with Clean Coal on Wednesday, so I need to get my ship righted sometime around Tuesday morning to be sharp for them guys, and that'll be that. We'll start thinking about. We'll start immediately. We have a conference. We have a conference meeting on Tuesday with all the drivers and crew chiefs, and that'll be a thrill since we won. But we've got to start talking about the next race, and we need to keep our eye on the goal. And like I said, we'll enjoy this, but we're ready for the next opportunity to win one because this is fun. I feel like we were close, so maybe we can get us a couple.
Any other questions in the press box before we come back downstairs? We're good. Let's come back downstairs. Bob, did you have one? Bob and then Lee.
Bob Pocker, Sporting News. For both of you guys, are you more relieved or excited?
Excited. I think a little bit of both. I think if it would have happened last year, it might have been relief because I don't know if we had the speed last year. I mean, we had some good runs at it. We had some good cars, but we had some consistency, but nothing like this year. I think this year, I'm a true believer in statistics, and I don't think it's luck. I think you make your own luck, and you get bad breaks along the way. But if you have a strong enough race team and strong enough cars, then even the bad luck can't hold you down forever. And I think this year we have earned this win. I think it wouldn't feel as special if it would be our, first year, 12 races in and not a top 5 in sight. But to go out and run like we did this year, I think at Las Vegas, we had a spectacular car, Dover, we had a good car, maybe not a winning car. Pocono, I feel we had a winning car. You know, when you start to have winning cars and then you finally win, it's excitement. I don't think it's relief. It's
Right.
excitement because now you have winning cars and you know that hard work is paying off. And that's why we're going to enjoy the win, but we're going to enjoy it to a point where, man, there's a lot of trophies left to get. We want to get some more.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. I thought it would be all relief, but it was no relief at all. It was all excitement.
Let's go to Lee. Go ahead, Lee, and then we'll finish with Jim Utter. Go ahead, Lee.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. To kind of follow up on the excitement question, at what point did you feel the fans? I mean, they were all on their feet on the front stretch. I mean, at what point did you just feel them really getting into it?
Well, I think I imagine they were into it. I come off of turn 4 for the checkered, and they were pretty excited all the way down the front straightaway. And I felt good for them because my fans had went through a lot to stay dedicated, and they stayed loyal, and they asked, they wondered why we weren't competitive. There were a couple, 2 or 3 years ago where we were far from competitive. I was as a driver. And they wanted to know why we weren't competitive, and they wondered what was missing, but they never doubted me, and they never gave up. And so I know there's a lot of people that were happy today. I could tell. I felt the fan base. I felt the excitement and emotion from them almost immediately. As soon as I got out of the car, that was my initial thoughts was about how many people were in their living rooms screaming at the top of their lungs or running out in the yard or whatever they do. I just wish I could see it all at once. That was the one thing that I kept thinking about.
Final question. Go ahead, Jim.
Jim Utter, Charlotte Observer. Dale, I believe out in Victory Lane on Sirius, NASCAR President Mike Helton said, I think Dale Jr. declared today that he's the guy to beat this year for the championship. I know you already talked about contending, but what does it mean to hear that from him? You have a long relationship with Mike.
Yeah, Mike's an awesome dude. There doesn't come any, between him and Rick, there doesn't come any better when it comes to having it all together and just being a sharp person. But so I trust him all the time for guidance and advice and leadership because he's just so awesome at it. So it means a lot coming from him to say that. I hope we can prove him correct, and we'll just keep working.
Congratulations to Dale Earnhardt Jr., Steve Letarte, and the number 88 team. Big win here today at Michigan.
And Rick.
Enjoy it.